What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to talk about some new developments that are coming out on the charts, how things are looking, my personal opinion. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon. Anyways, now let's talk about the market. So right now the market's very slow and choppy. We're seeing some tickers like Tesla that are really running nicely, pushing and just completely outperforming the market. So the question now remains, what's happening so far and what are some levels to watch for? SPY is very simple. Around the 600 area, we're getting these rejections. It's really struggling to break past that. But as it dips, around the 598.5 to 599 area, we're seeing some buyers defending, which means we have a very, very tight range for now. The market's in a tight range for the time being. Unless we end up losing 598, we remain in that tight range. And we're just going to continue to shuffle for the majority of the day. The market's just range bound. We're getting low volume as it's Veterans Day and the banks are closed. So low volume is coming in, and that's why the market's just performing like this. There are some tickers that are squeezing like Tesla. However, Tesla's up 11%, pumping very, very nicely. Our support now to watch for is right over here around this 350 area. That's previous resistance, which is now going to be our support. If that fails us, we're looking for essentially 347. If 347 fails us, we start dipping back down towards 340. Now, if we're bullish and we continue to push, we're essentially looking for the 360 area. 360 is going to be our next potential target as long as we're above 355. And if that breaks, 375 is going to be our next potential target. So it's very bullish, guys. This thing is just squeezing and squeezing and squeezing like there's no tomorrow. Let's see if we break 357 to hit 360. We're doing a very, very great job, and Tesla's just continuing this insane pump. So as Tesla remains bullish, and I just want to say it's really outperforming the markets amidst all of the talk about Elon Musk getting involved in politics, being like an overseer, it's leading to a lot of optimism right now because of the fact that it gives Tesla a bigger stance on politics. It gives them like a position, and it gives Tesla the ability to just have an influence over the president and such. So it gives them a very, very big edge over other companies out there, which is why the share price is pumping so much, with Elon Musk being an overseer for many different departments, especially like Doge. And that's very, very bullish. So right now the share price is bullish. Let's see if 355 holds. Overall, it's still up 11%. Amazing news for Tesla. For ES, we did get that little dip we were talking about. We did end up coming back down to about the support right over here. We're looking at this resistance around 6,038, and our main support is all the way down here around 6,020. We did dip back down there, and we could dip even more if that continues. But for now, just know that there is some more potential downside that could be coming, at least for the broader markets. If we maintain these structures, we're range bound for now, but unless we start losing support, I do see another possibility of that. Just know that the market is quite choppy. There's a lot of chop in this market. We're very choppy because of low volume, and it's going to likely kind of like continue that trend as time goes on. For other factors out there, we have some tickers like Nvda, which are showing some weakness. Nvda started off with a little bit of a pump upon the pre-market session, only to dump back down. So Nvda, of all things, is now slowing down quite a bit, and I think that this trend is going to likely continue. So with Nvidia slowing down, I just want to say there is a risk of this potentially continuing, and we could be continue to reject off our 50 EMA at 146.5, opening the doors for the 144s. Just keep that in mind. For Bitcoin, we pumped very nicely to about 85,000 only to dip back down. So we're looking for essentially 84,300 as our support, not to mention 84,000. We'll see if we get a bounce or not. But we remain a little bit more bearish, and we'll see if we get a bounce. So give that the time it needs. For other tickers out there, we have NQ. NQ is making lower highs here. We hit 21,250. We kind of rejected near that. So I think we could be dipping to 21,180 or below. There is a risk of that potentially happening. So keep that in mind. For the QQQ, we're also making lower highs. It has a very similar setup. We need to get back above 514.5. Otherwise, there's a risk of us dipping to about 512. I still think the QQQ could dip a little bit lower, especially because of stocks like Nvidia that are dipping alongside Apple. Some big tech stocks are dipping. Apple has been dumping. We were talking about 225, but it actually went below my targets. So now we're turning more bearish. I think we could be dipping closer to 222 flat. Eventually, 220 could be our next target if that fails us. Unless we reclaim 224, I favor downside, and right now we are still favoring that direction. The IWM pumped quite a bit up to about 241, but now we're range bound between 242 and 240. I think that we're going to most likely maintain that range for the time being, so give it some time to develop. For Coinbase, we remain very, very strong, just like Bitcoin. We're hitting 320 as resistance. If it breaks down, we're looking for 325 and 330 as our potential targets. It's doing a fantastic job, so we'll see how it goes. But overall, Coin remains very strong. Amazon's on a bit of a downtrend, got this rejection right over here. We're looking for 205 as our potential target. Meta is rejecting, making lower highs here. If it does not break past 583, we could be dipping closer to about 578 if 580 fails us. Microsoft lost 420, so it's looking bearish for 415 is our target than 412, so it looks more bearish to me. Google's also at this 180 area. If that fails us, we're looking for 178. But overall, I do think it may dip closer to 180, so just keep that in mind. Overall, guys, the market is quite choppy. We are dipping a little on SPY here, but we're still range bound technically unless we start losing these supports. Just keep that in mind. There is that risk of downside for the broader markets. But it is Veterans Day. There's low volumes. So there's going to be a lot of chop here and there simultaneously. And then some tickers in particular are doing really well. We have like Mara, not to mention like Tesla. MARA and Tesla have been doing really well, but Tesla in particular is the strongest. So I just wanted to call it out. It's doing a great job. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Just know one more thing. I'll be back hopefully in a couple of hours to give you guys another update. If not, I will be back at the end of the day as I typically give you guys my afternoon updates after market close. So I will be back later on just to update you guys on how things are looking. One thing that's very interesting, the last thing I want to call out is this before I conclude the video. The VIX has been dipping a bit, kind of like with the market. It did gap up quite a bit. Now it's dipping. So I do want to call out that the VIX did something that we were talking about yesterday. My video yesterday, I was saying that we have a tendency of getting bought back up right here on the VIX. So if you look at this, it's very simple to see. The VIX hit back in August, we hit 14 and bounced. We hit 14 and bounced, hit the 14s and bounced many, many times. As of recent, we hit the 14s again. Now we're trying to rebound a bit. So this could signify that something is going to launch the VIX higher. Maybe it's because the market's about to see a little bit of a dip. It's a possibility. We're seeing tech sell off a little bit. Some stocks like Tesla are still pushing very, very nicely. But with tech selling off a bit, with Nvda, Apple kind of following that trend, there is a risk of the market dipping lower. Just keep that in mind, guys. We are range bound right now. Yes, like I said, but the risk is still there looking at this. So we'll see how it goes. I thank you all for listening. So please have a fantastic rest of your day. Have a very happy Veterans Day. I think most people, or at least a large percentage of people, should be off work. So hopefully you guys enjoy the holiday. And I'll be back very, very soon. So I'll see you guys soon in hopefully a couple of hours. And peace out.